Hi and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to show you how I go about cleaning my brushes, and I'm going to show you a few different ways. I know it's not one of the most exciting things to do, but it definitely needs to be done, and quite regularly. So yeah, I'll show you first of all one way that I go about cleaning them if I'm at home and I have time to let them dry. So the first thing I do is I make sure that any bacteria comes off the brushes, and for that I use a rubbing alcohol. You can get them on eBay, Amazon, anything like that. I bought this particular size. You can buy them in a lot of different sizes. And then what I do is I pour some of this from the big container into a small setting spray, just because this is easier to use, and I can also take it with me on jobs and stuff, a good size to carry. So what I do then, I take a piece of kitchen towel, or you can use tissues. Just make sure you use a couple of them, because you don't want it to be too thin, otherwise the alcohol will just kind of rip it apart. So yeah, I've just got one piece of kitchen towel here, and I'm just folding it up. And then I usually just place it on a flat surface, but I'll show you on my hand here. And then I take my rubbing alcohol, and then I just spray it a good few times to make sure there's enough on there. And then I'll take my brush, and then I'll just wipe it along the towel or the tissue. And then once I can see that most of the makeup has come off, and I make sure that I've, got the sides as well, and just make sure that there's not really any bacteria left on the brush. I know then that I can move on to the next brush. And if your towel or your tissue gets really dirty, you need to take a new one and spray it again. And then I use a shampoo and a conditioner to do kind of like a deep cleanse. So then I take a container, anything like this will do, and then I fill it with about sort of a centimetre, you would say, of water, and then I add a little bit of shampoo to it, just like a 10 pence kind of amount of shampoo. And then I take my brush again, and then I'll just kind of downwards and just swivel it around in the water and the shampoo. Now at this point you want to be careful that you don't like submerge the brush too much in the water. You don't want the water to get past kind of this point, because here where you see the metal, that's where the glue is holding the bristles. So you don't want water getting into that area, because that's when the bristles start to come off, and eventually you will have to sort of buy new brushes, and yeah, your brushes just won't last as long for you. So if you do take care of your brushes, they can last years for you, but it is important not to get water in this bit. Then once you've sort of swiveled your brush around in the water, and you can see that it's clean, you can put it to the side. Now, put it to the side while you clean your other brushes. And I should note here that when I put my brushes to the side, I would never sort of hold them upright. I would always lay them flat, And again, for the same reason that you don't want the water getting into the area where the glue is holding the bristles. So again, find a flat surface and lay them there until you're ready for the next step. So once you've done that to all your brushes, cleanse them with your shampoo, then I would use a conditioner. And when I say shampoo and conditioner, I just use a regular shampoo and conditioner for hair. I like to use a moisturising one, especially if I've used the alcohol, the rubbing alcohol beforehand, because the rubbing alcohol can be a bit drying on the bristles. So it is important then to put the moisture back in. Also, I should note, when you do clean your brushes with shampoo in a container like this, you know, once you see the water getting dirty, make sure you change it for new water and more shampoo. Okay, so once you've done that, then you can move on to rinsing the brushes. And as I said, yeah, I just rinse them under a tap. And again, make sure when you do rinse them that you hold the brush like on a downward angle, so the water would kind of come this way. Again, for the same reason, you don't want the water getting into the area where the glue is. So hold the brush down, rinse it. Once you see that the water is running clear, you know it's properly clean then. So again, then put it to the side. So once you've rinsed all your brushes, you can then go on to use the conditioner on them to put that softness back to the brushes. So the same sort of routine again, you just take your container like this, clean water, some conditioner, and then you just again swivel your brush around in the same kind of motion, again not getting water past this point. And once you've done that, you rinse exactly the same way again. And then once you've done all, that to all your brushes, you can then take a paper towel and then sort of squeeze it lightly on your bristles to make sure that all the water kind of comes off the brushes so that they're not like soaking wet. And then to dry them, I again find a flat surface and just place them there and leave them to dry overnight, and usually they're dry by the morning and ready to use. So that's kind of how I go about cleaning them when I have time to do a sort of a deep cleanse to the brushes and when I have time for them to dry. If I'm on a job, like, you know, a fashion show or a fashion shoot where I have numerous models to work on and I have only, you know, a tiny bit of time in between each model to clean my brushes, then obviously I would not use that routine. All I would do is use the rubbing alcohol, exactly the way I showed you earlier. Take my paper towel, spray that a good few times on the towel, and then take my brush on a flat surface and just yeah, sort of swivel the brush from side to side, circular motions, however you find best to get the product off the brush. Then you know that the you know, all the bacteria has come off them and they dry really quick, you know, a minute or two, and they're ready to use again for the next person. So that's how, yeah, another way I would go about cleaning my brushes on the go. There are sort of cleaning sprays you can buy, and they work really good on the go too, but they can be quite expensive. and you know, small, so they don't last too long for you. So that's kind of why I prefer to use the rubbing alcohol option, just because it lasts much longer for me, and I know that I'm gonna give my brushes a good clean once I get home and put that moisture back into them, so I'm not too worried about the alcohol drying them out. And then another way that I clean them if I'm at home is, instead of using the alcohol and then the shampoo and then the conditioner, I will just use an antibacterial hand soap or something like that. So I'm kind of getting rid of the bacteria and cleaning them properly at the same time. And then I will still use a conditioner, but it's kind of 2 steps instead of 3 then. So yeah, those are the ways that I kind of use to clean my brushes. Please leave a comment below if you use any other ways. I like to hear what other people do, and please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that, and tell your friends. And yeah, as always, thank you for watching. So I bought this one from Holland & Barrett, the Vita Coco coconut oil, and it's an organic one.